Happy New Year! Let's talk about the astrology for the last week of the year. Good morning, my loves. My name is Comet. This is Magic Monday, and welcome to your Magic Monday horoscope for the week of December 26th to January 1st. What is happening within the cosmos and how we are going to feel these influences here on planet Earth. Here on Magic Monday, we cover not just what's happening in this week's astrology, but how you are going to co-create with these influences, how you are going to lean into the opportunities as well as mitigate some of the challenges. And I am here every single week on your YouTube screen. Rain or shine, great astrology or bad astrology, coffee or tea, I will be here to gently guide you into the week ahead. And this is a week that I am particularly grateful that you are here. Now, don't get me wrong, I am thankful every single week for everybody who starts their week with me, everybody who has visited my channel in 2022. Thank you so much. I deeply appreciate it. But this week, I'm extra grateful that you are here getting aligned with these energies, because this is a week that the astrology is guiding us in a much different direction than society and maybe even your social circles may be guiding you, okay? Like, this week is literally a holiday. Happy New Year. There's a lot of societal pressure around focusing on the new, celebrating the new year. What's your New Year's resolutions? What are your intentions? What are your goals? All of this fresh, new energy. Yet, astrologically, this is a week about cleaning up and reflecting on the past. So I don't want you to feel pressured that you need to get excited about your brand new start, that you need to set intentions. Truly, from an astrological point of view, the new year is nothing but a date switch, right? Like in astrology, the new year begins with Aries season. So I want to lessen that pressure off of you firstly. And secondly, I just want you to know that we are entering the new year while Mercury's retrograde. Mercury station's retrograde on the 29th. So this can be a powerful time if you know how to work with it. Setting new intentions, making new resolutions, brand new goals is sort of like swimming upstream. It's not impossible, but it's a lot harder than if we simply flowed with where the cosmos are guiding us. There is a potent opportunity this week around really cleaning up, really taking stock, really going deep in order to really clear out what's no longer serving. And that, in essence, is a new beginning in itself, right? Releasing and kind of tying up loose ends. And it's where the cosmos are guiding us. Again, when I break down the week's astrology to you, I'm never saying you need to do it like this. I'm just saying this is where the cosmos is guiding you, and you could save a lot of energy and feel a lot more aligned if you kind of just flow with these energies. And in addition to society telling us to focus on the new and the astrology nudging us to wrap up and complete the old, there's also this melancholic vibe that can feel counter to what society pushes on us, right? Like, you need to end 2022 with a bang. Let's go out, let's party, let's socialize. And you might notice you're in a little bit more of a melancholic state. There is nothing wrong with you, my love. The cosmos are wanting you to reflect, to introspect, to come inward, to process. So I also just want you to know that if you are feeling a little bit more low energy, if you are feeling a little bit more in the mood to spend time in solitude or with those that you really, really adore, I just want you to feel vindicated in doing so, or at least validated in doing so, as the astrology is sort of nudging us in that direction. So there is nothing wrong with you. You are simply aligned with the cosmos. And before I take it into Vibe Check of the Week, let me know what you guys are sipping on. I have a cup of winter wake up tea that I'm probably making you guys so nervous about. I know I get some comments sometimes when I'm just flinging this thing around and it's totally full. So cheers, loves. Let's make the last week of 2022 magical in our own unique way. Okay, so I went ahead and put down my cup of tea so that you wouldn't have to worry with me flinging it around. And I did already spill. I most likely edited that part out, but I did spill. So if you are one of the commenters where you see me with a full cup of tea and you're like, she's gonna spill that, you're not wrong. Okay, so in Vibe Check of the Week, we essentially take all of the different astrological ingresses and aspects and influences and liken them to a real life scenario so that we can begin to tune in to the dominant themes that will come to the surface as we navigate this week's astrology. And Vibe Check of the Week this week is sort of like a journey, so walk with me, party with me, if you will, because this week's Vibe Check is a party. but it's not necessarily a party that you wanted to be at. Like, I want you to think of something that you had to process within your world. Maybe it was like failing this really important test, or maybe it was losing someone significant within your life. Maybe it was a breakup, a friendship breakup, but something unfortunate where you just could not stop thinking about it. It was just like obsessing and ruminating around, how could this happen? I can't believe this. I can't believe this. And you're just kind of like grieving or processing or just feeling all of the things. And you've been in a more introspective mood. And your friends, being the good friends that they are like, okay, come on, let's go outside. Let's get you in some clothes. We need to get back to living. You need to get your mind off of it. We need to have some fun, right? Their intentions are good, right? But then you get to the party and you're like, okay, I just shifted from being miserable in my bedroom to being miserable here, right? And you're just still obsessing about it. You're not getting your mind off of it. In fact, it's just making it worse because you don't feel like you can relate to anybody at this party. The music's really loud. You don't like the drinks that are being offered. It smells weird. You're just like, this is not my environment. I wish I was home, but my friends are having a good time. They drove me here. So I guess I just need to sit here and just disappear into the wall. And you are just over it. You're sick of these people coming up to you to have these like shallow conversations. You're just feeling overwhelmed. So you go to take refuge in the kitchen where there feels to be less people, and someone that you like sort of know walks in and you're just like, oh my gosh, please don't see me. I just like need a second to be alone. But they make a comment that makes you laugh, and then you guys kind of transition into having the deepest, most real conversation that you've had at this party. Like, you're honest about what it is that you're grappling with. You find that they're able to kind of relate to you on that deeper level, and they're making you laugh, they're making comments, and they're like, you know, I'm kind of over this party as well. Do you want to get out of here? Do you want to like go to pancakes or something? So then you go get pancakes with this individual, and you just feel so much more you. You can take your heels off. You can stop pretending to smile and laugh at silly jokes. You can just be real and honest and authentic with this person. And you just feel this energy around feeling safe. So why does this week's astrology feel like ditching a lame party to go get pancakes? Firstly, Mercury stations retrograde on the 29th. Here's what you need to know about retrogrades. Retrogrades are when a planet switches directions. Now, it does not physically change directions in the sky, but from our vantage point here on Earth, Mercury looks as though it is moving backwards in degrees. It's not physically, that's not how space works, but it appears as such. And it essentially signifies this switch of direction within our world as well. Rather than processing and moving forward, looking towards the future, it's the time that we are meant to recalibrate and look towards the past. Rather than being concerned about the external situation of our world, it's a time to internally look inward and process. The direction switches. And so that's why I was saying in the beginning, I was saying like, it's not the most aligned time to go into the future, because right now, Mercury retrograde is having us sort of look towards the past, process, take stock, reflect, and look inward. So typically with Mercury retrograde, now I'm not saying you have to cancel your New Year's plans, that the party will be lame, not that at all, but it can be a time that we are craving a little bit more solitude, a little bit more introspection, or at least if we are spending time with people, we're craving the sort of time that really feels soul renewing, where you feel like you can be authentic, you feel like you can get deep, especially with Mercury conjoining Venus, and then Venus going on to conjoin Pluto. There is a layer of depth that we are craving from our connections and from our relationships, which is oftentimes hard to find at a loud party where the music's so loud you can barely hear yourself think. It's hard to have those talks, right? So there is sort of a desire this week to really deepen our connections, really have conversations that allow you that element of introspection or that element of reflection that you are craving. And this week, Mercury and Venus also sextiles Neptune. So there's magic to be found. Like, there is magic moments to be had. Like, there is something magical when you go to a party and you find someone that you like, that you click with. Isn't that a nice feeling? When you can really go deep, when you get to stop pretending, right? Like, that's so special. And I kind of designed our vibe check this week because I want you to look for those magic moments where it's like, I'm not feeling comfortable here, I'm not feeling satisfied here, being open to shift or being open to pivot or to find the magic around, hey, let's go get pancakes and like talk because that's what I'm craving. Hey, It's rainy on New Year's. Rather than going out on the town, what if we have like a movie night, just you and I? Like looking for those moments and those pivots where you can shift. Not feeling like you have to fake it or perform. Like when we have a Pluto aspect, like my love, going deep is the requirement. So it's going to be a hard week to perform. It's a really optimal week when it comes to going deep, being around the people who you feel like you can get deep with, looking for those magical moments to pivot in order to find that level of depth and that level of true authenticity that you're craving this week. And without further ado, we'll give it some more nuance and some more depth as we take it into our daily forecast. I just want to let you know that any time that I mention is PST, so GMT -8, so make sure to adjust to your time zone. The timestamps are below if you want to jump to a particular day or come back to a certain day. And hopefully this video came up on Sunday. It is my intention that all of these will be posted on Sunday rather than Monday. There will be no other change to the content. Still the Magic Monday that you know and love, just posted on a new day. I mean, I hope you love it. You don't have to love it, but hopefully you do. Well, good morning. Welcome to your astrology forecast for Monday, December 26th. So Christmas may be over, but the astrology of Monday is giving very much bah humbug energy. And I believe this is the last day of Hanukkah as well. And the vibe is sort of like a post-holiday or like end of holiday come down in a sense. Like you had too much sugar, you've been eating so much, you're drained, you've been around people, maybe you're filling in your bank account. There's just a vibe where it's just like a bleh, meh energy, okay? And you know, if you watch these, like I am not a doom and gloom astrologer, like I'll never be dishonest about the astrology that we're moving into, but I will always seek to empower you through the cosmos and really strive to find that silver lining within the astrology. Monday's astrology, it's not that anything bad is happening, it's just moon aspects, it's just how we're feeling. We're just feeling drained, we're feeling exhausted, you could feel pressured by responsibilities, you could just be feeling more blah, you could just notice that you are just not in the mood. And I feel this week is sort of that way anyway. Like if you have the week off, that kind of space in between the holidays just tends to be kind of like blah and drained. You're like, what should I be doing? My advice for Monday, since the moon will be void from 10:19 to 11:34 p.m. So that's an entirety of void moon. And when the moon is void, important tasks we must avoid, okay? So I would stick to more mundane matters. I would face things head on with the moon conjoining Saturn. Like you might need to look at things square in the face around, okay, let me look at my holiday spending square in the face, or let me look at all of the work that I just kind of brushed off my desk because I was so excited for the holiday break, or whatever it is that you need to face head on and strive to get back into the swing of things. I would definitely recommend moving your body. Not that, you know, Mars is technically involved on Monday's astrology, but with the energy in Saturn, our focus is shifting towards the responsibilities and the structure within our world. So just seeking those moments to be honest with yourself, right? Seeking to kind of integrate a little bit more structure when it comes to how it is that you nourish yourself or take care of yourself, and just muscle through your responsibilities. It's a meh day. It is not a meh life. It is not, you know, there's still magic to be found in this Monday, even when it's meh, okay? And then the moon enters Pisces that evening, which draws our awareness to our dreams, our spiritual connection. So Tuesday, the 27th astrology is really magical if you can follow the glimmers of inspiration, okay? Because the Pisces moon, it is more sensitive, it is more inspired, and Pisces is the fish, right? It just kind of swims wherever the water is taking it, wherever it feels like. It can be a very skittery energy. It's hard to kind of put it in one direction. But I will say on Tuesday, if you can streamline that inspiration, you can make some magical things happen, because the Pisces moon sextiles the Capricorn sun. So it is a waxing crescent moon, which is aligned around newness and initiating. But with an important caveat, I'm not saying that brand new offering, launch it. A brand new contract that lands on your desk, sign it. Like I was highlighting earlier, this is a week that is more aligned when it comes to taking stock around what's already been ongoing, reflecting on the past, revisiting past creative ideas, not so much brand new ones. But I will say this is energy to take what it is that you're inspired by and make it tangible, make it physical with the Capricorn sun, because the Pisces moon is content, you know, just dreaming up these ideas, but the Capricorn sun wants to anchor them, wants to make it tangible. So like for example, let's say you've always dreamed of, doing origami. The Pisces moon, that's like the Pisces moon kind of whisper of inspiration. But this is the energy where it's like, well, let's do it. Like you've dreamt about it. You ordered the paper. It's in your closet. Let's finally do the thing. Or you bought this book on playing piano. Let's finally take that dream and let's anchor it. But I really want to emphasize things that have already been ongoing, things from the past, things that you bought all excitedly and then you're like, oh, life got busy and I just never took the time to learn it. Tuesday, follow those glimmers of inspiration. Notice what it is that you feel inspired to do. And it can be as innocuous as cleaning your closet and finding something that inspires you, or finding love letters from your past relationship that inspire a new direction within your script, or listening to a record that inspires you to paint. Following those glimmers of inspiration and looking for ways that you can take what it is that you're dreaming about, daydream about, and make it tangible, make it real, okay? My only caveat is rather than something brand new, so let's say you just get this random inspiration around, I want to learn how to drive a race car, I wouldn't necessarily book the lessons right now. I'm talking more about supplies you've already ordered, things that you've already put some energy towards learning about, maybe stories you've already half written or songs that you've already half written, putting some energy around taking what it is that you've dreamed of or what it is that you're inspired by and making it tangible. And as you're following those glimmers of inspiration, it's important to stay streamlined when possible, to be able to reel in your attention when you're feeling overwhelmed, right? Like the Pisces moon squares with Mars and Gemini, which can be feeling overstimulated in a sense, like taking back to the vibe check, like being at a party and being like, it smells weird and it's too loud and this person is talking to me and I just can't, this is just too much is going on, because keep in mind the Pisces moon is quite sensitive. So that's why I'm saying it would be an aligned day to get lost in a project or to teach yourself something or to put some energy towards a past dream of yours and making it physical and making it real. But try not to get distracted around, you finally decide that you want to hang up those prints that you've had for years. So you go to the frame store, but then when you're there, you're feeling overwhelmed by the frame options. And then you're like, but I have to buy something because I'm here. Then you go next door and then you're looking at shoes and you're like, do I need new shoes? Should I fix my old shoes? And then you go to fix your old shoes. It's just the energy where our attention span is a little overwhelmed. We're feeling overstimulated a bit. And it's just really important to follow those little glimmers of inspiration and calling back our attention around, okay, no, we're not buying shoes. Okay, no, we don't need to repair the shoes. This is our task today. We're feeling inspired to get these prints up to inspire more, art and beauty and connection within our world. It's a very Pisces moon premise. And the Pisces moon squaring off with Mars and Gemini happens around 3:34. So would be supportive to wrap up your tasks around then, because then you could be feeling a little overwhelmed and overstimulated. And Tuesday night or Wednesday would be my pick for a date night. Technically the really romantic aspect exacts around midnight on Wednesday, so we'll feel it build on Tuesday night as well. And with Venus sextile Neptune is just wanting to see the perfection in the divinity in our connection, in our loved one. Wednesday, the 28th, the astrology is really just a love letter from Pisces to Capricorn and Capricorn to Pisces, because planets in those signs are just making harmonious aspects to one another all day long, essentially. So the first one is Venus in Capricorn sextile Neptune in Pisces. Now this occurs shortly after midnight, so we'll also feel this build on Tuesday as well. But this is really seeing the divinity and the loveliness in the people around us, really feeling like we want to connect and connect in a more spiritual, deep way. Venus in Capricorn has high standards and not everybody meets those standards, right? So when you find someone, this is like the vibe check of having that conversation in the kitchen, when you find someone who meets those standards that you feel like you can flow with and connect with, and that person honking feels me on this as well, it's so lovely. And this is a very inspired energy, which is why I was saying on Tuesday, really aligned to follow those little creative urges and stirrings. Again, Pisces is skittery, so muse can come from different directions, but with all of this Pisces energy influencing Capricorn, it's getting these artistic or creative ideas and wanting to make them physical, or also just following those little nudges around how it is that you can inspire more beauty into your world. Maybe it's baking cookies, for your neighbor. Maybe it is putting up those prints that you've had forever. Maybe it's planning that date of something that it's like, we've always wanted to do this. Let's finally do this. Finding those ways that you can inspire more romance, more beauty, more artisticness into your world. And with Wednesday, I will say, while it is really magical and harmonious, being mindful around what it is that you take on. The Pisces moon does conjoin Neptune, like smack dab in the middle of the day, around 2 p.m. And this can be overwhelming because we are more sensitive. The nature of Neptune is to dissolve. So with Neptune meeting with Moon, we are way more in touch with our emotions. Like with the Pisces moon conjoining Neptune, we're just feeling everything, right? Our boundaries are a little lowered. So it's like if we, scroll past that puppy commercial, like we're calling up, like we want to donate. If someone gives us their sob story at the supermarket, it's like, here, take all of my money. I don't care. Like we're just a little bit more in tune, not only to our emotions, but those around us. With this Pisces moon conjoining Neptune, if you are back to work, if you are working on Wednesday, I would definitely say tasks that are a little bit more spiritual in nature or a little bit more compassionate in nature would be a great day to volunteer, honestly, are more supported than things that are very mundane, cut and dry, just because with Pisces moon on Neptune, we can find we're daydreaming a lot. We can find we're a little bit more sensitive, like oftentimes. This feels like a midday cry sesh or something of the nature. Like I promise to you, that has been the most gratifying part of working for myself. No, not the picking of my own projects and the making of my own hours. No, it's being able to have the flexibility to cry in the middle of the day if I need to, without feeling embarrassed in the office and having to go to the bathroom. The sad girls get it, right? It's hard to be professional and be in the feels at the same moment. So nice to be in my little lair where I can take a pause and go cry as long as I don't have a consultation or something. And I am okay. I just am a Pisces. But with the Pisces moon on Neptune, expect to feel a lot. So that's what I'm saying. It's like you need to be a little bit more strict when it comes to who has access to you on Wednesday, if possible. I know a lot of people don't have necessarily control over their environment where it's like, I'm not taking on clients today because there's the Neptune aspect, but it is an energy where we can just take on the emotions of other people, the emotions at the workplace, the emotions of the friends that we spend time with a little easier. So I love to spend Neptune transits getting lost into environments where it's actually very helpful data for me to receive. So spending time by the ocean or in nature or in prayer or creating, right? Anywhere that you can kind of withdraw into your own world, into your own connection. There does feel by withdrawing, you're going to be inspired to create things within the external world, as the Pisces moon sextiles Uranus and Taurus, and then it sextiles Mercury in Capricorn, sextiles Venus in Capricorn. So there is a call around wanting to take what it is that we're dreaming of or what it is that we're inspired by or a connection to the big picture and find tangible applications. Like I'm telling you, I love my midday cries because it's like I cry and then I get an idea and I'm like, oh, I want to do that. Like crying is a release. Feeling is powerful. It gives us data and it feels like it'll be particularly important data on Wednesday, like finding that love letter in the closet, crying about it because it didn't work out, but then getting inspired to write a poem about it or put it into your script. Like this sort of energy where feeling might be overwhelming. It might be a lot to process. Like I said, it makes us really, really sensitive. So it's a lot to take in. But with all the earthy energy, it's like when we allow ourselves that space to feel, we're able to create or we're able to build or we're able to process in a more tangible way. Or like feeling the weight of, suffering for humanity and wanting to make a difference in a physical, tangible way. So Wednesday would honestly be super, super aligned for volunteering. Just make sure that you are grounding your energy down, because with the energy to Neptune, you might be a little bit more sensitive and take on a lot of emotion of those that you are around. The Pisces moon sextiles Pluto in Capricorn later that night. And then the moon is void at 10:21 with the Pisces moon sextiling Pluto in Capricorn. Like, see what I mean with all of this Pisces Capricorn love? Like, they are just loving on one another. Like, Pisces moon is dreaming it and feeling it, and Capricorn, the Capricorn energy is like, okay, what are we going to do about it? What are we going to build with it? Our emotions are powerful. Our emotions are fuel. Our emotions are paint, truly. Like, when we numb our emotions, we're also numbing like our intuition. We're numbing our instincts. We are numbing our inspiration, my love. So allow yourself the space to feel on Wednesday. Like, if you have to go to the bathroom for a quick cry, that's okay. If you need to go for a hike and process, like, that's okay. Like, allowing yourself to go on the journey, be part of the ebb and flow of your Pisces moon waves of emotions. So on Thursday, the 29th, Mercury stations retrograde in Capricorn. And as I highlighted, I did an entire video on this. You can find the link to that below, where I take you through this transit as a whole and then take it sign by sign or house by house. So you can take a deeper dive there. What I want to say now is that the energy of retrograde shifts the direction. And when it comes to Mercury retrograde, rather than bulldozing into the future, it's a time to take stock of the past. So it can be a really beautiful time with Mercury in Capricorn, which, cough, cough, by the way, all of the retrogrades in 2023 will start in Earth signs. If you guys haven't watched the 2023 astrology video yet, just saying, might be something important to tune into. But with Mercury retrograde in Earth signs, it's really taking stock of our physical environment, which is why I'm saying this is a really aligned time to get rid of stuff, organize stuff, rather than buying new stuff, right? Like if you've ever had that feeling at the grocery store when you're like, do I have breadcrumbs? Do I have breadcrumbs? Do I have breadcrumbs? And you're like, I don't know, so I'm just gonna buy these instead. And then you get home and there's like 4 other breadcrumbs and you're like, oh gosh darn it, how many other times have I done this? I'm never even gonna eat all these breadcrumbs. Like there is something so gratifying and so satisfying about going through things and like having that energy of clarity around, this is exactly what I have. So that I'm not just filling my house with unnecessary stuff or filling my life with unnecessary projects. Like if we take a moment to complete projects from the past, maybe you'll find like, oh, I don't even want to do that new thing. Like that was just a passing fancy. Like we need to take stock of what it is that we already have, what it is that we've already started or invested energy into before we have the space to really invite newness into our world. You need to take stock of your breadcrumbs. So you can think of it in terms of anything that you like buy over and over again. Like in my household, it's always noodles. I'm always like, I don't think I have spaghetti noodles. Then I buy them and then I just have so many noodles. But this is the sort of energy where it's more aligned to take stock and clear out and really gain clarity over it. And it can be honestly like to a physical level, it can be a great gratitude practice to go through things that you have. Like when you go through clothes, you're like, oh my gosh, I never wear this. I love this. It makes you feel more abundant. So even if you're feeling this call around, I want to buy things, I want all these things, I want all these new things, taking a second to take stock of what it is that you already have, like realizing like, oh, I totally forgot Macy gave me this shirt. It's like almost like the one that I saw in the catalog. Great. It makes us feel more abundant when we tune into what it is that we already have with an abundance, right? So that's just like a physical manifestation, but I also want you to tune into that when it comes to your projects, as I highlighted with Mercury retrograde, over communicating. What I mean by that is really specifying we are meeting here at 2 p.m. Like really being a little annoying with ensuring that both parties understand what is being communicated is really important, as well as leaving space for delays. That's also a reason I don't want you to have to like bulldoze into the future, because with Mercury retrograde, there can be delays, things can take longer, there can be technical difficulties. So keep your schedule a little light. Okay, like you might be feeling this inspiration because the moon does enter Aries today. So feeling this inspiration around, oh, I want to do this thing. But it's like with this Aries moon answering to Mars retrograde, like you want to just maintain what's already on your plate. Like you don't want this extra task to break your back, right? You don't want this extra task to be the task that overwhelms you, right? It makes you feel like you're rushing around. Like it's better to just stay steady with what is already on your plate, especially with Mercury retrograde. And it's really such an aligned time to look towards the past, not only to process, like to look to 2023 in order to process like what went down, and to also like congratulate yourself on all that you've done. Like you might not be exactly to where you want to be yet, but if you can say that you're closer than you were last year, this year was a win. Or if you can say you've learned something this year, that is a win. Like taking stock, to be proud of yourself. Like oftentimes, and this is the energy that I see oftentimes with Capricorns, not calling y'all out, but kind of calling y'all out, is this energy of moritis around as soon as they achieve one thing, it's like, oh, what's the next thing? Next thing. It's like almost not celebrating themselves or being satisfied. And it's important to find those moments to be proud of yourself, my love. Like hype yourself up for an accomplishment that you've had in 2022. Like I said, astrologically, the date change isn't that significant, but I would love for us to have a hype up little session in the comments. Like, let me know what you are genuinely proud of. And it doesn't need to be like a tangible success at work. It could be like, I'm so proud that I learned patience. I'm so proud I cut this person off. I am so proud of myself that I finally faced this fear. Like, I want you to feel proud of yourself. Rather than setting your new goals, I want you to take a moment to be like, wow, I really did that. I really did that. So taking some space as we move into this retrograde period, as I highlighted, I did a deep dive video on that topic, so I'm going to continue on this video, but just knowing as we move into the later part of this week, there can be this call to spend a little bit more time introspecting and looking inward. Now, I am a Mercury retrograde native. Let me know if you are as well, if you have natal Mercury retrograde within your birth chart, because the energy of Mercury retrograde flips the direction of communication. As I highlighted, it goes from looking to the future to handling the past. It goes from processing our external world to looking internally. And those of us who have Mercury retrograde, you know, we come supplemented with this energy, in that with Mercury retrograde, typically these are individuals where they do live a lot of their life in their head. They do tend to have like a very rich inner world. They tend to like process what it is that they say before they say it. And there also can be an energy around feeling misunderstood. There is a desire to refine language in one way or the other. And I don't want to bore you guys on that particular aspect natally. I do have a whole video on it if you do have that within your birth chart and you want to dive deeper into it. But I highlight this just because with Mercury retrograde, you could just notice you're feeling a little bit more introspective. The direction is switching, okay? And this is just sort of how I navigate my world and why the vibe check, like I've been in that circumstance so many times when it's like, I do love people and I can get along with pretty much anybody, but it's very, very hard for me to find someone who I relate to, like on a deeper level, or that I don't feel drained after talking to. And I love people, I love everybody, but you know, it's rare and it's special, which is why I love this vibe check around finding someone, around feeling this call around wanting to be introspective and finding someone that you feel safe to kind of take that deep dive. Because it's not to say that Mercury retrograde natives are antisocial. It's not to say we'll be feeling antisocial with Mercury retrograde. We'll just find that we are craving a little bit more depth. We're craving a little bit more introspection. And you can find that the world feels very noisy. And you can find that you don't want to be around circumstances where people are talking just to talk. You want to be around circumstances where people are really saying something, that they're choosing their words like mindfully, because they genuinely have something to say, genuinely have something to add to the conversation, and not just to hear themselves talk, right? So I just share this because if you are just noticing towards the end of the week, you're just kind of feeling overwhelmed, you're feeling drained, you're wanting some time alone, my love, you are in tune with the cosmos. It is quite all right. When Mercury's retrograde, it's about looking inward firstly, communicating with yourself. It can be so potent for really introspecting and pulling out valuable insights, as well as using your language to kind of process and reflect on the past. So honestly, this is the sort of week where it's like, rather than setting the vision board, like I would really just want you to journal on what it is that you were proud of, what it is that you were healing from, because that's the energy of Mercury retrograde. It's like this cosmic period for us to kind of take stock, to process. Like oftentimes the pace of society is always just like go, 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 new, 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 next thing, next thing, next thing. With Mercury retrograde, it's like, let's take a moment, let's take stock, let's process. It's been quite a year. I've become quite the person. This, and this has occurred. Like taking that moment to reflect. Capricorn Mercury, who is now stationed retrograde, conjoins Venus. So we are in the mood to connect, but more so in this deeper sort of way, right? Being around those people, that person at the party in the kitchen who you feel like you can connect with, who you can harmonize. There is a vibe on Wednesday where we're wanting to be around those people where we feel safe to be ourselves, safe to let the guard down, and people who make us feel excited about the future, about ourselves, who make us feel safe to be able to put the mask down and not perform. And I say this because the moon enters Aries and then it conjoins Jupiter. So this is this energy around being optimistic on the future. I know there's kind of this melancholic vibe to this week's astrology, but there is a vibe around being excited and around feeling free to be ourselves with energy in Aries, very self-sufficient, independent energy. And with Mercury conjunct Venus, wanting to be around the people who kind of think similarly to us, who have similar goals for the future, really wanting to harmonize and connect and be in beautiful environments. I want you to go slow. Try not to rush. As I highlighted, Mercury retrograde can bring some delays, and the Aries moon is rather impatient, especially with the first quarter Aries moon. This is a check-in point from last week's Capricorn new moon, which PS, let me know how that went for you. This is sort of a check-in point from that around, okay, you have these ambitions, you have these new hills that you want to climb. What are the actions that you need to take? And just resisting, you might feel this impulsive energy around, okay, if I want this new LLC, I gotta start it now before the new year starts. go slow. Okay, feel that tendency to want to speed up, choose to go slow. Also, the Aries moon sextiles its ruler Mars Gemini, who's retrograde, and then the Aries moon conjuncts Chiron. So there can be this energy around wanting to skip steps because you feel like then it'll skip your healing. Like this will make more sense when you watch the Mercury in Capricorn retrograde video because Chiron is interwoven into it. But there can be a vibe on Thursday around feeling this energy of pressure or a rush, or I've got to do this, or I've got to prove myself, because then I won't be flawed, right? Because then I'll be the ideal version of myself. And I just highlight that simply because later the Aries moon conjoins Chiron, so there can be some processing, some feeling. And keep in mind, this is the day Mercury switches direction, so you might be noticing a lot is coming to the surface. Embrace it. With the Aries moon, there is a tilt towards authenticity. There is this tilt towards independence, this tilt towards self-sufficiency, embracing our raw, vulnerable selves, the raw, vulnerable stage of our healing. And just with Mercury, Venus, really celebrating and enjoying the people around us that make us feel safe to be our own person, really appreciating the beauty around us that supports who it is that we are and where it is that we are going, so on and so forth. On Friday the 30th, go slow and steadily, even if everything in you is telling you to speed up. Okay, I'm telling you, I'm worried about this Aries moon, especially during the first quarter moon phase, just because first quarter is typically a time around conquering challenges, right? And Aries moon is all about that as well. And with the Aries moon squaring off with Mercury and Capricorn later in the day Friday, we could be missing important details when we bulldoze into the future. So trust me, on Friday, go slower than you want to, double check, reread all of the Mercury retrograde wisdom. With the Aries moon sextiling Saturn in Aquarius, Saturn in Aquarius is kind of reeling in that Aries moon around, okay, we love the enthusiasm, we love the passion, let's ensure that we are plotting our steps, right? For some reason, this is so bizarre, but I remember when I used to be really into rock climbing, my dad would always say, like, plot the next rock that you want to go to so that you don't get to a part of the rock wall where you don't know where to go, right? Like the Aries moon has all of this inspiration where we could just kind of scamper to the top, just like, I want to get to the top. I know where it is and I want to go, that we're missing details around, oh, now I'm in this part and now I don't know where to go. There's no rocks accessible to me, right? So plot your way. Even if you feel that inspiring around, I need to do this now, plot your way. Take a second, take a deep breath, plot your pathway up to the top. There is no rush to what is meant for you. Really important to anchor in with this Aries moon, Capricorn sun, because they're both ambitious in different ways, right? And this was the energy baked into the Capricorn new moon, so I don't want to bore you by detailing it here, but I just want to share, notice on Friday where you're feeling a tendency to go faster or where you're feeling impatient. Choose to go slow. Handle one step at a time, okay? On Saturday, December 31st, so the Aries moon is a little stressed. You know how like Pisces was having a little love letter to Capricorn? Now Aries moon is like beefing with all the Capricorn placements essentially. So it basically beefs with Mercury, it did the day prior, it beefs with Venus, it beefs with Pluto. So you could just be waking up and just feeling over it. The vibe should chill out when the moon enters Taurus at 9:08. This is the moon's exaltation and it's very cozy, it's very sensual. So you might be more inclined this New Year's to just want to really make a nice meal, to be cozy with those that you love, or if you are going out, to ensure that you're going to a place that has like the tastiest cocktails or the delicious meal that you want. Like Taurus moon lives its life through the senses. So if you're like somewhere that's noisy with nowhere to sit down, smells weird, like that's not gonna fly with Taurus moon, right? So ensuring that you're going somewhere that is a treat for the senses, taste, touch, see, smell, things that are aesthetically beautiful, that you look aesthetically beautiful, eating things that are delicious, drinking things that are delicious, hearing music that's delicious, indulge all of the senses. And then Venus conjoins Pluto. And this is the call to deepen our connections. This was the portion of the vibe check where it's really wanting to be around people who we can just be real with. Because it's not to say that this is an antisocial week. Like certainly Mercury retrograde is a little bit more fertile when it comes to extracting really potent insights from within. But with Mercury Venus, like we are in the mood to connect, but not connect in a surface level way. Okay, and that's the vibe with the 31st. And why I'm saying when it comes to your plans, I'm not saying cancel. If you have this big gala you're going to, my love, have a great time. But it's more so we're craving this level of depth, like the people that we could just be real with around, yeah, I'm at this party, but like this, and this is going on. And this is why it was baked into the vibe check. And this is also why in the vibe check there was this energy around rumination or obsession, because such is the energy of Pluto. So maybe there was portions about 2022 that you're not so proud of, like in the journal exercise that I had you do. I mean, hopefully you did it, but that I encouraged you do. Maybe there's certain things that you're like, I cannot believe this didn't happen. I cannot believe I didn't pass the bar. I cannot believe that business that I wanted to start, that I didn't start it. I cannot believe this falling out with my friend. And like ruminating and obsessing and almost looking inward. Like this happens in Capricorn, which again has high standards for everything. So there's energy around how could I have not lived up to my own standards? And it's like, my love, because you are human. And all we can do is vow to do better within the future. Right? So try not to invest too much energy around, oh, I wish this went according to plan. Or for some of you, if you're processing like a breakup or something, because Venus is love, there could be energy around how did things happen like this? Or maybe there's a situationship that went awry and it's just like, I can't believe things unfolded like this. I can't stop thinking about this person. Should I text them? The answer is no. Some of you can be feeling this energy like kicking yourself for financial mistakes. Venus is also finances. Maybe you're getting ready, because keep in mind the Taurus moon is answering to this Venus conjoining Pluto. So maybe you're getting ready and you're like, oh, I don't like this makeup look that I tried. I feel hideous. Or like being around your friends being like, everybody else looks so good. Why am I like this? Like it's a very ruminating, obsessive energy. It can be very powerful psychologically for really like going deep. Again, the energy of Pluto is about rebirth, which is why so much energy this week is around clearing out, taking stock, processing to a deep level. It's like almost the energy where it's like, why would we go get a new relationship or springboard into the new if we haven't even healed from the past one, right? Why would we start this new project if there's a beautiful project waiting you to complete it? Take stock within your world so that you don't buy the 5th thing of breadcrumbs for your kitchen or start this new relationship and realize, ooh, I have still not processed my ex. Like, take a moment, okay? Take a moment, be real with yourself, be real with others. And with this energy of Pluto, we might find that within our social environment, we're craving a layer of depth, okay? We're craving someone that we can just be real with. We're craving an environment where we can be in our PJs and eat and chat and reflect on the year. Like those friendships and those loved ones where you almost just feel like you are alone, and not in a lonely way, but almost just like you don't have to perform. You just like are who you are. Those connections are so lovely, and that's just kind of the vibe on Saturday. So you can certainly find that at the club. Certainly. But all I'm saying is really appreciate those connections of not only those that you feel like are moving in a similar direction in life as you, not to say you guys have to have the same career, but someone whose like values are kind of evolving in the same way, someone who kind of sees the future in the same way. It's really important to have those people on your journey. So appreciating those people in your life, appreciating that depth that you're able to find, whether it's like on your own, my love, it really is just a calendar date change. So please don't feel lame if you're not at the club. Like I'm telling you, today's astrology isn't the most supportive for being in very noisy or overstimulating environments, and just looking for those layers of depth, those layers of authenticity, those layers of realness as you find them, right? Whether it's at a club, in your PJs, at the restaurant, like looking for that level of depth. On Sunday the 1st, happy 2023. I won't annoy you with my little horn blower again, but it is a new year, and make sure that you check out my 2023 astrology video if you have not yet. It is linked below. I love that the year starts on a Sunday. Like that is just so juicy and lovely. And I love that it starts with an exalted moon. Like that is just so juicy and lovely. It's giving a very lazy day to just luxuriate, to just enjoy. Especially with the Taurus moon trining Capricorn sun, to again take stock, as I highlighted, to enjoy the simple things, the sensual delight. Be open to random spurts of inspiration as the Taurus moon conjoins Uranus, and also Mercury sextiles Neptune. So allow yourself to luxuriate and then find those little spurts of excitement or motivation around, oh my gosh, I want to go to that museum today, let's do that. Or watching a TV show and they say something that inspires you and you're like, I want to write a poem about that. Looking for those little moments of spontaneity, those little moments of excitement within your day. And just with Mercury sextile Neptune, it could be very dreamy, very daydreamy, and I just want you to take that space. Like you deserve it. You deserve this rest. You deserve to luxuriate. Some of you may be working, so again, with the energy of this, like, you know, Uranus and Neptune, I would just say have a notebook with you wherever you are for random ideas or downloads or clarity that you get. Like, Mercury retrograde can be so juicy when it comes to insight, so long as we're working with the cosmos in the way that it's working with us, which is around recalibrating, reviewing, resetting, truly. So the Magic Monday mantra of the week is, I take stock of my world. And it's not to say you need to take inventory of like all of your friends and all of your possessions, but I want you to lean into this energy around being okay with this divine pause, not feeling like you have to bulldoze into the future, reclaiming these really lovely, luxurious moments of just deep pondering and dilly-dallying and meandering. Like, I want you to lean into this energy, which might feel counter to a world which is telling you new goals, new purchases, new things. Ensure that before you add something new that you actually need it or could benefit from it, right? And also lean into this energy around going slow in a world that wants you to go fast, finding those moments and those pockets of inspiration. And that inspiration typically hits when you do go slow with things, when you take stock. Like, I'm at the grocery store and I'm feeling pressured to buy the breadcrumbs just in case, but let me take a moment to really take stock of what I already have before I add something else on my plate. Because to a physical level, to a mental level, everything takes up space within our world. And we want to be sure that before we add something new, yes, even the breadcrumbs in your closet, even that project that you're adding on, that does take a little bit of your energy. Now, nothing's wrong with that, but you want to ensure that you're giving your energy towards the right endeavors. That is huge focus with Mars retrograde. And in a world that is telling you to go faster and to buy more and to do more, choose instead this week to proceed mindfully, to take stock of not only your physical belongings, but also what it is that you're emotionally grappling with, what it is that you are mentally thinking about, giving energy to, and just leaning into this energy around proceeding mindfully, being observant, and taking stock all that the year has taught you and showed you about yourself, of all that you have within your life at this moment, and really being able to sink into those moments of gratitude and perhaps even sadness that it prompts. As I highlighted, this week's astrology can be a little melancholic, and that's okay. Taking stock of all it is that you feel, all it is that you own, to be able to tune into that energy of gratitude for what is within your world, as well as just processing with the emotions that come up when you observe what is not, okay? It is only when we can, clear up and find closure from the past that we are able to initiate our brand new beginning. So that is my hope for you this week, my love. My Instagram handle is @HaleyCommentAstrology. My TikTok is the same. If you gain any value from this video, if you can consider dropping a like, commenting, subscribing, any little nudge that you can give is so appreciated by me to continue to create cosmic content. And until we meet again, drink lots of water and stay magical.